kbci.blogspot.com, on YouTube, Boston G.B.R. I'm George Boston Rhymes in Valdosta, Georgia, in the county of Lowndes. I'm in front of the Valdosta Board of Education Superintendent's office. We just had a football game over here in this stadium on last night. I got up this morning and I see the front pages of the Valdosta Daily Times reads, "Mayor pleads guilty." This is Mayor John Freddy, pleads guilty to felony, but remains in office. That is the result of a citizen, Roy Taylor, filing charges against the mayor of our beloved city. As a concerned citizen here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, as you know, the Valdosta Board of Education has been under a federal court order since 1971 for not hiring enough black African American educators. We know that that is what has been plaguing our community for such a long time. A few months ago, over a year ago really, I have brought it before the Board of Education that this facility that only provides for 32 seats during public meetings in our beloved city. I've brought it before the Board of Education that the front doors are locked and people could be burned during public meetings here in Valdosta. I have also highlighted that the Superintendent, John Cason, denied the children in the inner city school system to listen to the 44th President of the United States of America was inappropriate, if not downright disgraceful for our community, to the military veterans, to all people at Moody Air Force Base, visitors at Wild Adventures, the people that go to attend Valdosta State University, and people in general. And so we ask that the people ask that he resign from office. Yet he is still here. Very little is being said about it. I have no personal problems. I have nothing against the superintendent personally. I just want him gone. Our elected officials here in Valdosta still attends and go on conservative radio stations wherein the president is lambasted, talked about, and criticized as no other president in the history of this nation. And I believe that the archival record of this nation will bear witness with me that some of the other 43 male presidents denied certain citizens their right to vote, to travel, to own land, to be recognized as a full-fledged human being, the right to move from place to place, to own a family, to maintain their dignity, their pride, the right to join the armed forces, the right to just a whole lot of constitutional rights were violated under some of the other 43 presidents. But yet, when we was going to segregated schools, I was attending Washington Street just 18 miles away, and every time one of those other white presidents had a message, we listened to that president. We listened, and we listened attentively. But that was denied to the inner city school children here in Valdosta. And we must not let that go. Now, when one comes to the Valdosta, they can expect no black administrators to be seen in this building. None. When you go to the school system, you will see very few black African Americans in this school system. We have requested this information under the Open Records Act of the state of Georgia, and we have received and we have posted this information online. Dr. McCluskey have made a beautiful website detailing the disparities in the hiring practices for whatever reason. We know that there is a pattern and practice of locking out black African Americans in many segments of local, state, and federal positions in this county. That's a strong statement. But all I'm asking you to do is walk around this city and look into the offices of local, state, and federal offices and see who is employed and see who is not represented. We are living in a majority black population in this city. There is no reason why, when you go into the restaurants in Valdosta in 2011, that you see very few black waitresses. This is not me talking, y'all. This is a fact of reality that all you have to do is go and check it out for yourself. Now, you may ask, Brother Ryans, why come to the Board of Education building to make this video? Because since 1971 and even before, we have had problems in this city with this Valdosta City school system. We all know that. It's a matter of record. Dr. McCluskey laid out a beautiful outline and gave a PowerPoint presentation. Much of what she said, for the most part, was not on TV, was not on radio, was not in the newspapers. And we discussed that at the SCLC meeting, the NAACP meeting, and other civil and human rights meetings. Some of the professors at the Valdosta State University, like Dr. Knoll and Mark George and Lee Turchland and others, who are white right people who have joined us in the effort to bring about a change here in Valdosta. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing us to go on and on and on without moving into the 21st century with other metropolitan cities in the state of Georgia. It is a disgrace, to say the least, and it's time for a change. It is indeed time for a change. And so, we go over and we play the football games. Blacks was well represented last night, I'm sure, at the football game, although I didn't attend. In the band, I'm sure they was represented. But when it comes down to other aspects of the community, we are nowhere to be found. Go down to the paving, the concrete laying, the drywalls, of buildings that are local, state, and federal contracts. And you may say, well, the blacks don't apply. You may say that. Poor whites don't apply because they're not qualified. That may be true. But I'm a retired military veteran, and there was, when I went in 71, some jobs the blacks had never been in. But to be fair, what the government did, the government made avenues. They created programs so blacks could go into jobs that they had never been in before because they had been locked out for nearly 400 years. And so what had happened is that the military took a step to bring about a change, a real change. And as a result, blacks became a part of the system. They became a viable part of the military. They took those dollars and they took care of their families and their children, bought book bags, etc. for their children, and used some of the same money that whites had been using for centuries, for at least hundreds of years. While blacks was not even, was nowhere to be seen. So, if the military could do it, we can hire more black educators. I asked the superintendents of schools, the board of directors, many years ago, that put me on the job, and I will find the educators since they can't find them. I'm talking about qualified black educators. There's nothing wrong with whites teaching our children, but if the school was predominantly extraterrestrial children, wouldn't they want some extraterrestrial teachers to educate their children and to